Welcome back to DHN. We need to talk crypto. At this year's Davos event, an important announcement was made.
The World Economic Forum in Davos saw the introduction of the Universal Digital Payments Network for stablecoins and central bank digital currencies. The network seeks to make these digital currencies interoperable. For the past 2 years, GFT, Red Date Technology, Toco, and DLA Piper have all contributed to the development of USPN. At Davos, a panel discussing infrastructure, interoperability, and the rapidly developing digital currency launched the network. Representatives from the Deutsche Bank, HSBC, Standard Chartered, the Bank of East Asia, and the AK Bank were on the panel. Several Tier 1 banks, according to the UDPN, will take part in a number of proof-of-concept use cases the rest of this month to show how UDPN could be used to address present and foreseeable problems with integrating digital currencies into everyday business, banking, and payment scenarios.
In this video, I'm going to share with you everything that I know about this UDPN and how Hedera ties into it. The development of this network goes back at least 3 years, and I promise you won't believe who is involved. DLA Piper is one of Hedera's earliest governing council members. In 2020, they launched Toco, a securities token platform that uses the Hedera consensus service. Toco makes use of smart contracts to facilitate tokenization, and it is all secured by the Hedera consensus. In the clip, she mentioned 10 proof of concepts that banks would be testing in the coming months. One of those listed on the UDPN homepage is digital asset tokenization. They state, this will be demonstrated through a set of tokenization smart contracts covering insurance, compliance, trade, settlement, and recovery. DLA Piper is a law firm, and this is the exact same function as Toco. Now let me remind you of this. Back in 2021, Standard Bank and Shinhan Bank tested global stablecoin settlement using the Hedera tokenization service and their consensus service. More recently, Arbitron joined the governing council. Now, their sole purpose was to improve the tokenization of investment funds using the Hedera consensus and token service. But here's where things really get interesting. Back in July of 2021, I stumbled upon this article and I printed it out because I knew it would be very relevant one day. This is the day that the partnership between Hedera and LCX was announced. This meeting was held in a confidential back room during a World Economic Forum meeting in China. Details of this deal. The Hedera network will leverage the platform to expand the Hedera token service with the addition of a new security token standard. Hedera will benefit from the Liechtenstein protocol, which offers compliance, tokenization, asset management, on-chain identity, and provides organizations with the ability to build a framework for building new security tokens on the Hedera public ledger. Knowing this, it's clear to see that Hedera was made for this. But I do also recall seeing LCX pump on the same day. All not surprising. What was a bit surprising though was that the rest of the market pumped as well. This is what motivated me to look further into the other two companies. Let's start with GFT. German digital consultancy firm has working partnerships with R3 Corda, ServiceNow, Hedera council member, Volante Technologies, who works with Ripple and is participating in the FedNow instant payment system launch, Salesforce, who has done work with VeChain, Fidor, who runs Sopra banking software. Standard Bank uses Sopra software, who is also another Hedera council member. Sopra has also done work provided their software to Inter-American Development Bank. That is the same organization that is partnered with the Quant Network developing the LAC chain. The other company here is Red Date Technologies, and this is when things start to open up a bit. RDT launched the blockchain-based services network in 2019. The whole intent was to accelerate blockchain adoption among enterprises, just like the UDPN. It uses a public-private node model and targets both centralized and decentralized permissions blockchains, just like the UDPN. Basically, this Universal Digital Payments Network is the global version of the BSN network, which is backed by the Chinese government and has domestic and international branches. BSN Spartan, the international arm, uses Cosmos, Ethereum, and Polygon Edge. The core chains of the BSN include Ethereum, Tezos, Oasis Network, Polkadot, Algorand, Solana, Casper, and Cypherium. It's been a minute since we talked about Cypherium, but Here they are again, popping up out of nowhere. The key difference, though, is that the UDPN is focusing on stablecoins and central bank digital currencies, where the BSN is served to bring blockchain solutions to companies and enterprises, specifically ones on the Belt and Road. But my point is, if the same parent company that brought us the BSN is now working on this new universal network, then it's safe to say that these chains will work as closely to the UDPN as they possibly can. Now, they are already running stablecoins on the testnet, which started in Q4 of last year. The UDPN is set for public pilots by summer of 2023, the same time as the FedNow instant payment system launch. Initially, there will be 8 alliance members, and this is going to extend to 24 over the next 2 years. So that means they'll be adding a new member per month, every month, until 2025, after Bitcoin's halving. Interesting timeline there. The information on who these alliance members are isn't public yet, but with so many similarities to the BSN, I feel like we'll find out very soon. Now, they do have a white paper, which you can find on their website. It's about 40 pages, but I've pulled a few key points about its design that I want to share with you. The UDPN will only support CBDCs and regulated fiat-backed stablecoins as payment methods. Non-regulated chains like Bitcoin won't be accepted. New currencies to be added will go to a vote by the alliance. Management of the alliance will be done by financial institutions and tech companies from different countries and verticals. Now, that is another theme you'll see when you read this paper, is the merging of big tech and big government. The UDPN will not issue a central token. Instead, it will operate as a network that connects different digital currencies, working with multiple stakeholders and becoming the messaging backbone between CBDCs and stablecoin systems. Messaging backbone. That's very interesting. I want to show you this. I stumbled upon this video. Stacy Warden, CEO of the Algorand Foundation, and she's conducting an interview with JT Invest in You. Now, listen to what she says about ISO messaging standards in relation to crypto.
The global financial messaging standards have been evolving over the years, and the European and American central banks have signaled that November of this year being the go-live date for the new standard ISO 20022, in which Algo is one of the 5 cryptos reported to be compliant with this new standard. How will this change affect Algorand, if at all?
Yeah, the most important words in that question are reported to, because we don't know where that came from. Honestly, that is my honest answer for that. It doesn't make any sense, actually, that a layer 1 protocol of any kind, now us or the other 4, would be, ISO. It's a messaging format standard.
Yep.
So how would that be baked into a layer 1 protocol? I don't even really understand what that means. Now, you could have a smart contract driven way that, if it didn't conform, maybe the transaction doesn't go through, or you could imagine somebody, and this is maybe not a bad idea for somebody to come up with a smart contract mechanism whereby this was kind of part of the if then statement. And you're not wrong. I mean, it's on the internet that we are part of it. We don't know where that came from. And we don't know what
Interesting.
First of all, she knew what the question was while he was asking it. This shows us just how far up the ladder that ISO narrative went. She also mentioned, though, how she could not see a messaging standards being baked into a protocol. Well, that's exactly what the UDPN is. The UDPN provides a global payment messaging network to support stablecoins and CBDCs across decentralized and centralized digital currency systems. The UDPN will provide a shared decentralized network and associated standards, the messaging backbone for efficient cross-border digital currency payments. Now, it is this that makes me think the rest of the market reacted to this so positively. The UDPN is seemingly here to connect all DLT and blockchain projects to traditional finance. If you look at the governance structure, it allows for any number of bodies from government, tech, and financial sectors to take part in the network. Clues as to who I think that might be would probably be found within the Hyperledger Foundation, because the UDPN uses Hyperledger Besu pretty much for everything. The UDPN is a permission network containing 4 primary nodes. Validators and transaction audit nodes, they are on-chain. Business and transaction nodes run off-chain validator nodes containing Hyperledger, Besu, pure validator and governance systems. The tar nodes contain Besu archive nodes, which is what provides the relevant transaction data to support regulatory requirements from governments or central banks. That means that any mandate that comes down from that government body in that region that node is being hosted, it is automatically programmed into every transaction. Can anybody say universal basic income? Perhaps what's even more concerning, though, is that they go on to talk about how under the revenue model section in the white paper, Alliance members share all fees collected on the network and claims that it will be distributed back to ensure development, with a small portion going to the Alliance. Now, I've been reading white papers for nearly 4 years now, and I can tell you, I have not seen one as ironclad as this. It covers every aspect of this industry in specific detail. In that white paper, they go even deeper into those 10 proof of concept use cases. When you read that, you'll understand where I'm coming from here. Now, a lot of people are asking, what does this mean for coins like XRP? Well, I don't think this is a cause for concern. I think it's the exact opposite. Yes, they only want to work with initially permissioned regulated blockchains, but that does not stop Ripple from joining the Alliance at some point this year. And what if XRP becoming a security was actually the goal all along? In that case, it would be regulated, and now there is a global network for which it could be traded and used on. The ripple effect of that would be other cryptos getting the same classification, thus benefiting from the network in the same way. The same can be said for exchanges, Web3 providers, virtual asset service providers, digital asset service providers. Remember, that's why I had you guys I pointed out those terms, those classifications for you. It's all coming together now. One last point here. Notice how the sole focus is on stable coins. I told everyone at the top of the year, this would be the year of the stable coin, and the UDPN agrees with that. They state, although central banks globally are advancing their engagement with CBDCs, most have just started progressing from the discussion stage to experimentation. With that, it is anticipated that the digital currency cross-border payments ecosystem will be driven by the rise of stable coins in the next couple of years. So, regardless as to what happens next, folks, the UDPN is very important to this space, and you can bet DHN Crypto is going to stay on top of it. That's all for this one, though. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. We will be making more content on the UDPN. It'll be here. As always, I'm Wade Teamer. I'll see you in the next video.